There we are. And we're live. Hello, hello, hello. Did you get to see what I sent you on TikTok?
Yes.
Okay. I listened to like a little clip earlier today, like about it, which basically it was like a 15-minute thing on it. And there are three books
Mm-hmm.
3 books of Enoch, which I think is just crazy. And like all the stuff that he like explained like how they like made the books and everything. So very interesting. I thought it was very interesting. Really just going along with the things that we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, Adam was checking out my analytics and I thought it was interesting. I believe he told me 350 people unfollowed me this month.
What? On Facebook?
Yeah. Um, and I'm like, I wonder if it's because of what we've been talking about. But like 500, I had like 520 new followers. So I was like, that's okay. Like, I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Right? That's crazy. I had the same thing happen on Instagram. I had this one video that did like really, really good and got like 3.5 million views and all these followers. And then all of a sudden, like I just keep losing them. I've lost 300 now, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
It's okay. Just we're not for everybody.
Yep.
hmm Hello, Nicole, Paige.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paige. We appreciate you.
Yeah, we're bracing for the hurricane right now.
Oh, what is going on?
Well, you know how it is in Florida. We just don't know what's going to happen, but we're all ready for it. We're stocked up and ready to go. They say that it's supposed to be bad and it's supposed to hit in Tampa. That's where it's projected right now. But you know how it is. Like 1 minute
Yeah.
it's going to go one place and then it veers off this way or that way. So it's like a total crapshoot. Nobody really knows what's happening.
Wow, that's scary. Well, at least you don't have to go out and try to get some dope in the middle of a hurricane this time.
That part. Because I have done that before.
Yes.
The last one that we had, that was bad.
Look, I feel like we need to like reenact it. Like, make like a whole reenactment. Like, so I interviewed this lady. It's coming out tonight. Oh, it should be premiering right now on my YouTube. And it's meth and mansions, rich moms and meth and mansions. And like this lady, so she created this real recovery movie festival. So it's in Los Angeles and it's like all these people in recovery or allies in recovery create movies like talking about people's experience, with addiction and all the different multiple pathways, and they make movies about it and it's like a whole film festival.
Wow.
So we could reenact your story with the hurricane and trying to find dope, and we could put it in the movie festival.
That's crazy. It literally could be like a movie. It was
Yeah.
straight up crazy, like walking through the puddle, not puddle, like the flood, up to my knees in water with like transformers sparking all over the place. I was literally risking my life every second that I took another step, but I still did
It's
it.
crazy. Yeah,
The
crazy.
willingness.
Yes, yes, yes. Michael Walker said, "Is Revelations coming true?" I believe I believe
Yeah.
it. I believe it for
Yeah.
sure.
I think we're
That's
in there somewhere right now too.
uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. We're in there somewhere for sure.
It's
Tyler.
interesting. I've been trying to read it lately because I feel like we are in it
Mhm.
somewhere, and I've been trying to read it to get familiar, like, where are we at right now? Which seal are we on?
Yeah, so they just had a sermon about this at our church, and they basically said that we're at the end of the church age. Uh,
Mhm.
okay, so then like after that, like Jesus is gonna like call us up, right? And then after that, there's like 144,000 that are going to be saved. After that, like people who were like on the fence that didn't get called up the first time, like I guess and that's when like all the seals or
Mhm.
and all that stuff happen, is when those people like in the 7-year tribulation or whatever, like the people who are dealing with that, like we'll be up there, we'll be like looking down like, oh
Yeah.
man. Go left, go left. Yeah. Um
Yeah, for
but
sure. I've been
yeah.
watching I watch prophetic preachers. So I watch a lot of sermons on YouTube, and all of them have been saying pretty much the same thing. We're fixing to go through like a famine, and it's going to be
Mm,
bad. And we kind of already know it's going to be bad, right? Because it's already
right.
pretty bad.
Yeah, for sure. It already is pretty bad. Definitely. Um
Oh, can you
Lucy
pop that up there? That question. Do you see it, Matthew? It's funny.
Oregon? Mhm.
Yeah, I want to kind of talk about this for a minute.
Okay.
So last week, I went to a harm reduction conference, and I don't know if you've ever been to one before. So this was my thinking, right? I thought that it was going to be a conference about methadone and Suboxone, but it wasn't. Methadone and Suboxone is just scratching the tip of the iceberg when it
Mhm.
comes to harm reduction. And what it was about was having a needle exchange and handing protective measures to people who are on the streets. And what I really liked about it was the way that they humanized people who are in addiction, right? And it's
Yeah.
crazy because I walked away kind of feeling like I was part of the problem, because here I am like 3 years past my last use, and I don't see them the way that I used to see me. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I was part of the problem for a minute, but I'm glad that I got to experience that, because I remember just being in addiction and people treating me like I was just a piece of shit, and that I was a bad
Mhm.
person, and I felt like that. So it was cool to go there. And I know this much, like as far as decriminalizing drugs, I don't think that putting people in prison really solves the problem. I feel very blessed because the place that I live, the criminal justice system that we have here, puts people in rehab once they get arrested, but it's not like that everywhere. So I think that locking people up doesn't really help the problem at all. Matter of fact,
Right.
yeah, they
Mhm.
probably just meet more drug dealers, because that's what I did.
Yeah, and yeah, we have some harm reduction places out here, and literally they will give you, clean needles. You can get uh candles, lighters, crack pipes, meth pipes,
Wow.
everything. So exchange your bad ones for new ones. And how much money, this is for the people who are not, for the taxpayers, the non-addicts, the people who don't have an idea about it, right? They
Mhm.
just see the numbers. So they see, hey, we're going to say by doing this, it saves so much money to the taxpayers.
Mhm.
HIV,
Yep.
hepatitis C. Who pays for those treatments? Taxpayers pay for those
Mhm.
treatments. Okay. I got a free hepatitis C treatment. It was $1 million treatment. Taxpayers
Wow.
paid for that. Okay. So by giving out clean utensils, right, we're preventing people from diseases and things like that. Hospitalization, all of those kind of things, right? Plus, this is the beauty for people who are in recovery who understand.
Mhm.
Every time somebody comes to get a new whatever they're coming for, they get to speak to a person who is going to
Yes.
love on them and treat them like a human being, and and talk to them, and they're going to open that door for conversation whenever that person is ready to find recovery.
Yes, I love that you said that, because that was really my takeaway. I mean, they set these hubs up, and in Florida it's not really legal. Like they're just now starting to do this, and I think there's like 6 places where there's a legal place that you can do it. And then maybe there's some alleged places, I don't know, but that's the goal, right? Like you sit there, you treat these people like humans. Hopefully you have a peer there. And if this person wants to get help, who are they going to talk to? That's where this place comes in at, So I think it's just wonderful. I really do.
Yep, absolutely. Paige said, I went to this overdose awareness and they had a lady who was in active addiction talk. Wow, that
Wow.
was powerful. We need to hear those raw stories. It's also nice to see people who have overcome, but it was very real and raw. Yeah.
Mm.
Wow, that would be quite a reminder for sure. So how is your job going, Sonya?
I love it. I really do, but this is what I'm learning, right? I am like the type of person that I just want to help everybody. We haven't even got to the point where I'm dealing with people yet, but my heart is to give. Like that's just who I am. I want to serve other people and be of service. And I've done this in recovery. Sometimes when I like something, maybe it's the addict in me. I just want to do more.
Mhm.
So it's really fulfilling to do these things, and but I have to find balance in my life so that I'm taking care of me and being the best person I can be, which helps me to be of service to others. So I'm going to have to be mindful of that, is keeping that balance in my life.
Self-care.
Yes.
Mama, what are you doing for self-care? I know
Yeah.
you get your nails done, but what else?
So I get my nails done. I'm always talking to my support network, right? That's a really big thing for me. I see my support network every week. I spend time doing spiritual literature in the mornings. I pray every night. I try to slow down when I need to slow down. And I haven't really before, like I would go and like walk and try to meditate. I haven't done that in a while. So maybe that's something that I can work on.
Mm. Do you ever put on worship music and just praise and worship?
Oh yeah, when I'm in the car, that's like my jam.
Okay. I used to be so big on that, on like being in the presence of God, like through like worship music. And I've just so come away from it, like, cause I get so distracted by like I'm trying to do my devotional and answer all the questions for my Bible study. Because we have one like every week, and we have to like answer all these questions and stuff. And or I'm trying to get to the gym because I need to lose this last 10 pounds, right? Like everything just gets put in front of it. And I forget like the importance of even just taking 5-10 minutes, just
Mhm.
soaking in God's presence, like through worship, can just change everything.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, I do. And when I clean too, I love to listen to worship music when I clean. It
Mm.
gets me going. You know what I haven't done though in the
Yes.
last 2 weeks? I haven't been to the gym. So I think that definitely affects my spiritual condition.
Mm. Um, Amber, glad you're joining us. We are Sonya's working at where are you working, Sonya?
Well, I
What's
don't
your
want to say the name of it,
right,
but
but what's
it's
your title?
a peer mentor basically, right? Or parent mentor. So if somebody loses their children, and so then I would help them, not really do it for them, but help them walk through their system so that they could get their kids back by providing resources and hope and support.
Yes, yes. And she is in the Florida area and I am in Georgia. Um and I don't necessarily work at like anywhere. I work everywhere.
Yes.
I work everywhere. Amber, so whatever you need. um let's
Yeah,
see.
one thing that I'm really excited about though with this job is like we get to talk about the policies that are happening in our area to try to make a change in our area. Lord knows we need that. I know that's
Oh
something
yeah.
that you've done up there in Athens too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Up there having to call your state representative, your legislatures, like call over and over again. They'll send us like a script to like write, and we'll email it, and then we'll call and we'll say, "Hey, we need you to work on this. Hey, we need funding for this." You know what I mean? And just like call and it's crazy, and get as many people as you can to call. We just like flood them, just bug the crap out of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but we have to remember that we have rights now, right? Like that's the coolest thing. We recover and we vote. Okay. We
Yes.
vote. So that's powerful. So we have a voice. Like we have to remember that our elected officials work for us. So
Mhm.
we need to be in there telling them, hey, this is what we need. This is what we need to do. You can go, you can write letters, you can call, and guess what? They will email you and call you back. That's the coolest thing. They for real will do that. Like I get emails from them and calls all the time. And they're like, yeah, okay, we know that you care about recovery. So we just want you to know that we're passing this bill. And I'm like, okay, because it's voting time is coming up, right?
Right.
Like, we just want you to know we're on your side. Vote for me. It's like a give and take thing with these people, but we can't be ignorant about it. We have to be educated, right? And we
Mhm.
have to have the courage and the worth to know like that we deserve to have a voice, right?
Yes. I love that you just said that because that's one thing that I've really noticed in the last couple of weeks is like our voices matter. I didn't think my voice ever mattered before. And it's also a self worth thing, right? Like after everything I've been through, who wants to listen to me? But that's not true. People do want to listen to us because we actually are
Mhm.
experts in this field. We've done many, many years of research and our voice matters, so I'm learning that, and that's a really cool thing.
Yes, yes. Keith, congratulations.
Oh, that's awesome. 11 months. Mhm.
About to pick up that 1 year. My 1 year was so exciting. Wasn't your 1 year like the most exciting thing ever?
Yes. And you know what? I'm going to say something to you, Keith. I had my 1 year in mind, right? Like I had decided in my head I was going to get to that 1 year key tag, right? And but once I got that 1 year key tag, I had no plan after that. I just wanted to get that 1 year. And I don't know if you can relate to this, but like I rode that pink cloud all the way to that 1 year, got everything back that I wanted to get back. And then the 1 year happened. And I'm like, well, now what am I going to do now? And that's really where all of my recovery tools that I had learned really started to kick in. And I had to keep pushing forward. Like year 1 to year 2 was a little bit tough for me. Just because I was like trying to find my way and where I really fit in and who I really am and all of those things, like the first year was just amazing. I was like flying by the first year. It was awesome. But then I had to really like slow down and grow up in my second year.
Yes, yes. And for me, it was even in my third year and fourth year. You know what I mean? Because you really start to get like it starts to not be as exciting, right? Like after my
Mhm.
third year celebration, like I was like, whatever. You know what I mean? I didn't even pick up a key tag this year for my 7 years. I didn't even pick up a key tag because I'm like, well, it's just another day. you know?
Right.
So it loses the excitement. So while you have that excitement for it, just keep it as long as you can.
Mhm. Yes.
Like keep that, like you're blessed to be in that exciting place of early recovery. I always was looking at, I want to be like that person that has this many years, like I like idolize people the more years they had, but it's not,
Mhm.
it's it's really more fun in the beginning. Then
It
you just
is.
feel like you're just a grown up. Like, damn, this sucks. You have to go to work and pay bills.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. So, where did it go? I had something I wanted to talk about. Hi, Katie. Paige.
That's what I
Have
was looking at too.
Yes, my girl. We're always on the same wavelength. I have self-worth, but it's still hard because of all the stigma beaten into our head.
Mhm.
Sonya, when did you realize that you didn't need to be embarrassed about your recovery anymore?
Honestly, it's been something that's happened to me since I started posting on Facebook. I was proud of the fact that I'm in recovery before, but I never owned my story like I've owned my story now. And there still is a stigma. Like people still say stuff to me every single day. Like horrible, mean, negative things. But I really don't care because I don't do it for those people. I do it for the people that are looking for hope or the people that understand. But even today there's still a stigma, but really standing on my truth has been a recent thing for me.
Mm, hmm Yeah, I think for me it was when I got certified with Georgia Council on Substance Abuse. And I believe I had a little over 3 years, and I was still trying to semi be anonymous. And
Mm.
one day something just hit me and I was like, what do you have to be so embarrassed about? Like you were dead. Like literally like dead in the gutter and you have crawled up, have your own place, that
Mhm.
I rent, but still my own place, right? Like you have your own car, you have your own business, you just got certified with Georgia Council on Substance Abuse, like to be a recovery coach. Like seriously, like what exactly is so embarrassing about the fact that you beat death? What is so
Exactly.
embarrassing about that, you know
Mhm.
so I definitely think that we have to remember, like, I'm not saying we're better than other people, but we sure have made a further climb than a lot of other people.
For real. I
Yeah.
heard something last night about that. I mean, if you can beat addiction, you can do anything you want to in life. I mean, that's for me definitely been the hardest thing I've ever overcome. But I'm sure most people can agree with that. So if you can overcome addiction and create a new life for yourself, you are literally unstoppable.
Yes, absolutely. Like you can literally do anything. And that's, something that I realized in, around that time, like 3.5 years in recovery. I was like, man, like I can really do anything I want to do. Like for real. Like whatever it
Mhm.
is that I want to do, I really can do that. Um, but yeah, so we need to be like proud of the things that we've overcame. And of course, we're going to have those people who are going to say whatever mean stuff that they're going to say, but let
Mhm.
them try to walk a mile in your shoes, right?
Yeah, and people are going to do that no matter what. Whether you're in recovery or you're not, people are always going to have shit to talk about you. But I always say if you ain't got haters, you ain't doing it right. So
Yes, that's right. That's right. 300 people unfollowed me.
well, then you're doing something right.
Oh my goodness. Whitney, congratulations. 5 years clean from the needle.
That's
That is
awesome.
awesome. Uh Katie, 60 days. That's right. That's right. 1 year and 10 months. Congratulations, Katie. You're doing amazing with your uh Katie is a wonderful mom. She's really
Oh,
pushing herself and really she's going to do amazing things.
oh, congratulations. That's awesome.
Let's see. Um, can you give me some advice on anxiety? How to control it without using? 1 year out from active addiction and struggle immensely with anxiety, especially lately.
Hmm. Yep, I can
Mm,
relate. So I feel like I'm in this season right now where my higher power wants me to confront all of my fears for real, and everything that I have these like irrational fears. Like I'm afraid of like gas station bathrooms and like porta potties and elevators. And I don't even know if it's really just small spaces, but for some reason I'm afraid of those things. And, I used to have agoraphobia, which is like where you just basically don't want to go anywhere because you're afraid of everything. But, anyways, I've found for me that the only way for me to conquer my fears is to face my fears, so that's what I've been doing. I've been doing what they call in vitro therapy, but there are therapeutic things that you can do when you're in those moments of anxiety that will help you to calm down. And I found for me, like, what's helped me the most is my breathing. I've been doing, I don't know if I told you this or not, maybe I did, but I got in an elevator all by myself, like almost 2 weeks ago. That was like a really big deal for me. But when I was in the elevator, I was breathing. I was breathing up 4 breaths, hold 4 breaths. You're making a box. That's what I'm
Mhm.
doing. Breathe up 4 breaths, hold it for 4 breaths, down for 4 breaths. And then, 4 seconds, not 4 breaths. And then hold it again for 4 seconds. And that's really helped me. Or just, letting, embracing the anxiety, letting it happen. Like, it's not going to kill you. Just let it happen, let it be, and then let it go. Just facing it has helped me so much.
Did you plan to get in the elevator or was it a spontaneous thing?
Hell no, I didn't plan to get in it. No, I go to the jail on the weekends to go into a meeting, and I always have somebody with me. So as long as I have somebody with me, like, even though it's bad, I can manage it. But the girl that was supposed to go with me didn't show up. So I had to go. I was like, you know what? I'm just doing it. I'm not going to run from this. And I did it. And I was really proud of myself. I went up by myself and down by myself. And I have to tell you, this particular elevator is not just a regular elevator. Okay. When I went to orientation, the police officer's like, by the way, these elevators break down sometimes. I'm like, gee, thanks so much for telling me that. I could have gone my whole fucking life without knowing this. So it's not just like a regular thing. Like, I had to go in this elevator that takes literally like 60 seconds to go up 4 floors. It creaks and shakes the whole time you're going up and down it. So it's like the worst of the worst. And I did it though. I did it. And that's the point. Like, I did it. Even though I was terrified, I did it.
I feel like this is a season for deeper healing. Like,
Yes.
I feel like God is really like calling us to a deeper level of healing. It's like, oh, I thought all that trauma was gone. Like, nope. we're gonna take off some more. We're gonna go a little bit deeper.
Mhm.
Tomorrow is my session with my therapist. So I'm excited about it to go and do this thing. And then after that, I just started I'm going to be teaching at another treatment facility here in Athens, which is a women and men's treatment facility. So I'm excited. So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow night.
Nice.
Teaching my MRT, which is like a moral
Oh,
reclination therapy. I don't know if you have MRT there.
yeah, we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
That's
so
like one
I'm
of the nationally recognized best programs is MRT.
Yeah, so I'm a certified MRT teacher, so so that's what I do at the treatment centers out here. Um, so yeah, I was teaching at the one that I went through, and now I'm teaching at this other one, which is like our like down the street or whatever. So I'm excited about it. I heard this one like they're like kind of more strict on though, so I'm gonna have to have like my game face on, like don't be too nice, Jamie.
Do they send people back like down here when you go through MRT? If you do something wrong, you
Yep.
get disciplined by going back to like step one or
Yep.
whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's how this place is. Like in the peers, like judge you and all that. Like,
Hmm.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. But at the other place, I was nice. Like I didn't make them memorize. I would let them write it down. You know what I mean? But like this place, they're like, nah, you can't do that. Like you need to be like legit. I was like, okay.
That'd be
Yeah.
good for him, though. I know a lot
Yeah.
of I didn't do MRT, but I know a lot of people that have done it and been really successful with it. You have a serious like psychic change by the time you get done with MRT.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like these steps. I think it's really cool, and I learned a lot because I had to for the certification. It's like a 3 or 4 day certification, and I had to like actually do the work. So I thought it was good.
Somebody down here asked if we've ever done cognitive behavioral therapy.
Um, not like Um, in a like, on a regular basis, no. Like, I've probably done, like, an exercise here or there that, like, my counselor at the rehab center taught me, but no, I have
Yeah.
not.
I've done some exercises on it too, and I think it can even be really kind of helpful with anxiety because you take
Mhm.
both sides of the spectrum, right? And compare the facts to your thoughts. And I think it really helps you to work through those fears.
And fear, what do they say? Like, face everything and rise, right? Is that what it is? Or F everything and run,
Mhm.
Like, at this point, what are we running from, right? We already fought, like, the biggest monsters and the biggest giants, so there's not really much that can scare us, right? Especially us who have seen, like, the underworld and, like,
Mhm.
there's just not much that can scare us nowadays, so why not go for it, you know?
Mhm.
It's, like, just another level of freedom.
Right. And another level of healing. I love that you touched on that healing thing because I have found every time that I work on something, like I think that I figured it out. And then
Mhm,
there's like this new layer. It's like, no, no, now you need to
mhm.
work on it. Same thing, but in this
Right.
area, it's just not as unmanageable as the last one was, but there's still some more work to be done.
Yes. Always, always. And that's the great thing about, people in recovery is we are not scared to do the work on ourselves, right?
Mhm. Yeah, that's so true. Like normal people don't do that.
No, they really don't. They don't. They're so oblivious. It's
Mhm.
crazy.
Yes, they
Um,
spend years and I have a person in my life who I won't name, has just basically spent her whole life in denial, and I've come up with this realization recently, but, I have to just accept it for what it is because that's where she's at in her journey, and I can't change that.
right. Yep. Yep. Angel, 3.5 months, 3 years. Wait, three
Three
and a
and a
half
half.
years. Help me with the math. Help me with the
I
math.
love that profile picture. That is so cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. See. I was on Xanax. I'm not sure if that contributes, but the detox off that was hell.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
have never detoxed off Xanax, but I heard that is so dangerous.
It is. It's Xanax and alcohol are the most dangerous, and it's like it could throw you in seizures. The detox is horrible. Like talk about anxiety. Oh my god.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Um, Hello, Patrice. Hi, April. Jennifer. Been following both of you for a year
Oh.
now. 36 days clean. Oh my goodness. That is awesome.
Congratulations. That is awesome.
Yes. Um,
Oh, I love that hashtag. Love God, love people. That's my mantra right there.
yes, 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 yes. Um, April, suck on sour candy. That's interesting. And you could do that. The grounding is like a big
Hmm.
thing, like, that I try to do. I actually learned it in this. Okay, have you ever heard of Rory Ray?
Uh-uh.
Rory Ray is this, like, she's this, like, relationship coach or whatever. So in my previous relationship that failed miserably, not on my fault because the guy was a jerk. Um, it was giving me so much anxiety because he was a straight liar and he was like playing all kinds of games with me, and I knew, but I didn't want to let it go, right? So God was just giving me like so much unrest and unpeace, no peace about it, because he wanted me to like break it off. And so she talked about how to get out of this place of trying to control things by
Mm.
like by feeling stuff, like walk outside and feel the leaves, like feel a flower petal and see what does it feel like and think in your mind, and just to like change it,
Mhm.
and that I've kept for
I
sure.
love that. That's helped me too, just doing the 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you
Mm,
can smell, 2 things that you can 2 things you can touch. Is that what it is? I don't know, I might have just
mm.
messed it up, but basically it's your 5 senses, right? And you end with taste. But it's when you go to the feel, like you would be surprised because I can feel my shirt on my body. I can feel my feet in my shoes. I can feel my
Mhm.
hair touching my back. I mean, you'd be surprised the things that you come up with when you really tune in, and it distracts you from the other things that you were thinking about.
Yeah, and, like, yeah, who could remember what they were even talking about after going through all that? Like,
I know.
I would be like, "What was I mad about again?" Like, I don't even remember because I just went through so much. Chico, outside sun gazing and barefoot. Well, good for you. That's awfully that's crunchy granola hippie-ish. That sounds like a great day.
It's actually really good though, because I heard about this new technology called a PEMF. Have you ever heard of this before?
Mm-mm.
So all this like 5G and like
Yes,
Wi-Fi and
yes, yes.
microwave radiation. This is like the new thing that my mind is fixated on. So our bodies have our own what's that thing that protects the earth, that thing that goes around it?
Atmosphere, like,
No, mag
mm,
anyway, magnetic, not
yes,
magnetic wave, but you know what I'm talking about?
yes,
Anyways, we
yes,
have our own shield basically, right?
mhm,
And we get grounded and recharged from the earth and all these things that are like intercepting and breaking um the protection around us. I can't believe I can't think of
mhm.
the name of it right now. But anyways,
It'll come to you.
yes, it will later. But so there's this thing called a PEMF device, which basically like puts this protective shield around us. Anyways, let's come back to that.
Okay, how and so
Okay.
what is walking barefoot? So walking
Oh,
barefoot
okay.
is how
Yes.
we
So
recharge?
yes, when did you know that if you walk around barefoot, it protects you against some diseases because your feet are being exposed to the earth and different toxins and bacteria. It makes you less susceptible to getting sick. Electromagnetic field. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you. That's what I was trying to think of. Yes. Well,
Yes.
that's true too. A PEMF may enhance your aurora or have an effect on it. That's interesting. I never thought of that.
Mm. Yeah,
Yes.
all kinds of stuff because and you never know what they're putting in the atmosphere these days. Didn't they
Yeah.
like China or somebody do something with the sun, try to make like their own sun or something like that? Like something
Listen,
crazy.
there's so much going on in the world. It's not even
It's
funny.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
crazy.
Back to the revelation that we were talking about.
Ah, ugh, I know. I know.
Oh,
What do you think about this one?
so I've been to rehab 15 times, and the only thing that kept me going was hope for getting my son, and now it's all over. I'm sober, flew away, need some advice. Do I return to Florida or stay here and save my life? So I'm not sure where your son is or what you mean by it's over. But what I can tell you is that I think the first thing to do is wherever you are that's going to save your life would be what to do first, right? Stay wherever it is that's going to save your life and work on getting you together and really building a solid foundation in recovery. And then, they say don't leave before the miracle happens, right? A friend of mine the other night, I was at a meeting and a friend of mine ran up to me and told me that he had just found his biological mother. She was in the rooms, right? They've been
What?
passing by each other for over a year now. He didn't even know that was his biological mom. They've been separated since he was little, and he just ran into her. Like, that's the miracle, right? If you stay in recovery long enough, those kind of miracles is what happens. So if you get yourself together and build that solid foundation, then one of these days, that miracle is going to happen. It's not over until it's over, and it's not over
Mhm.
until we're not here anymore. So even if you have lost the chance to get custody back, that doesn't mean that you'll never see your son again.
Right.
Because I'm willing to bet one of these days your son's going to be like, where is my mom? I want to talk to her. Maybe it might be a
Mhm.
few years when he grows up, but I feel like our kids are worth waiting on. You know what I mean? So it would be better if that day does come and you're there waiting for him sober and
Prepared.
you,
Mm,
right.
yes. Oh, so true. That's so true. It's powerful. And don't be scared, because I think Sonya, you got sober where your old stomping grounds were, and that's,
Mhm.
so it's not the place, it's going to be your recovery, right? So do,
Yeah.
focus on doing the work and building the foundation.
Mhm. No, you're right. I never thought that I could get sober here because literally, like, I cannot walk by a single place without having either robbed somebody, slept with somebody, did shot up something, or sold drugs, or God only knows what I did wherever I was.
Mhm.
I was doing something wrong. I know that,
Yeah.
but like everywhere
Sure.
triggered a memory.
Yes.
But I changed my perspective, right? Like today, instead of thinking about the bad places that I've been, today I get to go and re-enter those rooms of those bad places and create new memories there. And that gives me peace to know that.
Yes, yes, yes. That is awesome. I love that. Creating new memories. That's what
Mhm.
we have to do, because every time I walk into a dang Publix bathroom, that smell, like there's something about the way they smell. Any place that has any Quick Trip that has a single bathroom, oh my goodness, trigger,
Mhm.
trigger, So, yep.
Yeah. For us, it's 7-Eleven down here. 7-Eleven was
Mm,
like the hot spot. Yep.
yes,
I'm
yes.
pretty sure the people that work at 7-Eleven have Narcan behind the counters because it's such a bad place for people to go use.
Oh, I hope they do. Wow, that would be a great ministry, going out to gas stations and handing out Narcan
Mhm.
and training people that work at gas stations to use Narcan. That would
That's a
be,
great idea.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Is that Kaylee? Just let you know, I've been following you for a long time, and I got sober October 3rd last year. Endocarditis saved my life. As scary as that is, that was my rock bottom. Now your husband had something. Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can relate to that too. I mean, it's funny because Steve told his story on Saturday for like the first time in a long time. I think it's the first time he's really told his story out loud in front of people. And he did such a good job, and he talked about having endocarditis, and he had to have 42 days of treatment, but it
Mhm.
took him 6 months to actually complete that because he kept leaving the hospital to use, right? Because he just couldn't not use. He was in active addiction, obviously. That's why he got it. But he talks about being in there and having all these tubes coming out of him and a pick line in his neck for the dialysis and all these different things, and just saying, you know what, God, like, if this is the end, just take me. Like, I am done. And then
Mm,
he felt like God say to him, like, it's not over yet. And
mm,
he had that little bit of hope, and he started to get better. And it didn't happen right away because right after he got out of the hospital, he went to jail. But that's where it started to happen because he got out of jail, then he went to rehab, then he went to jail again, then he went to rehab, then he went to jail again, then he went to rehab, but then he got clean.
right.
you
Right.
know?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it takes what it takes, and we're learning, right? From every single, it's a journey, and we're learning all through it. So
Yeah. Some of the worst things ever have turned out to be the best blessings of my life.
give an example.
Okay. Well, one example is like what we've been talking about, all of that spiritual darkness that I went through. I'm so
Mm,
glad today when I look back on it that I went through it because today I know the light exists and I want to be a part. I want to be walking in the light, being a light bearer. Like I want to be living a righteous life. I don't want nothing to do with that. And if had I not have gone through that, I would not know that. And like when I was in jail, I talked about this last night, my gift of desperation. Like nobody would talk to me. I wasn't allowed to speak to my kids. I had no bond. I was looking at going to prison. I had just had custody of my kids taken away. Nobody would send me money. Like it was horrible. But that
mm.
right there is what I needed because that gift of desperation gave me the willingness to seek recovery the way that I do today.
Yes, I love that. That's so powerful. And God knew that that's what it was going to take. He knew
Mhm.
like that was what it was going to take for Sonya to say, all right, I give up. Enough is enough.
Yeah.
That was the same thing with me too. It's same thing with me too. everything, our stories are just so similar. And,
Mhm.
the things that I've learned, and, um, I've been like we've been talking so much like recently about like God, like talking about like God and addiction, and how, um, for me, like I find it challenging sometimes because like, how do you share the message without coming off like we share the life-saving message of recovery, and then I
Mhm.
want to share the life-saving message of the gospel, and it's like, how do you do that in balance without sounding like you're trying to bang people over the head with the Bible? Like I always, talk about like forgiveness, like,
Mhm.
because I feel like that's the biggest thing that keeps people away from God, is thinking that God's mad at them because of the
Yes.
things that they did, right? Like, and to know like God's not mad at you, right?
Mhm.
God's not mad at you, And um and then knowing that like we don't have to do anything to like earn God's love. Like that's really cool. Like that was something they were talking about in church. Like you just have to like accept it, which sounds so far fetched. Like, you mean you just want to like love me and I don't even got to do nothing?
Yeah,
You
that's so
know?
true.
Like
Mhm.
how do you accept that, knowing all of the things that you have done wrong?
Mhm.
How do you do it?
Yeah, I want to tell you a story. So I was 31 years old in the midst of my addiction. I was going to make a YouTube about this. I might still, but I was 31 years old in the midst of my addiction, right? I was doing dope and my mom had my kids and I came to a place in my life where I decided that I deserved to go to hell. Like how can I ever go and meet my maker one day after everything that he has given me? I've completely failed at. I'm not a mom to my kids. I'm not a daughter to my mom. I'm not a faithful wife to my husband. I am everything that he gave me that was pure, I have ruined, right? And I had a spiritual awakening or a spiritual experience, not a spiritual awakening. I had a spiritual experience, and there's a difference, right? A spiritual experience is something that happens to you where like in a moment, that God is real. And that's what happened. Like I had been up for 3 days and I started praying. There's a whole story to that. But, anyways, I started praying and like crying out to God about something. And all of a sudden, he just touched me. And in the moment that he touched me, I knew that heaven was real. I knew that I was forgiven for everything that I had done, everything that I hadn't done yet, and everything that I was now, because Jesus took it all to the cross 2,000 years ago. I was already
Mhm.
forgiven.
That's right.
And I knew that my husband had been praying for a divine intervention and that we were seen as one flesh, right? Because we were married. All of a sudden, I just knew all those things. Like I had a revelation and it was life changing. Like when that happened, I just wanted to not do dope because I saw things on such a different perspective. Like life looks different when you see it from a kingdom perspective, from an
Mm,
eternal perspective, right? And I
yes.
just wanted to stop so bad, but I was so consumed with the flesh and my addiction back then that I wasn't able to stop. I tried so hard, but I just couldn't. But, that's where recovery came in for me because it taught me how to stop and then
Mhm.
brought me back to God because I thought he was
Right.
mad at me.
Right, right.
Hmm.
Or maybe we got mad at God and we were like, I don't want nothing to do with you because this happened and you took this person from me and you just watched when this happened, right? And we want to get
Right.
mad at God. And there's this thing called free will, but one thing that I know for sure is that every time that I was hurt and I was crying and I had been sexually assaulted, that God was next to me and he was holding me and he was crying too. And that
Yes.
is so powerful for people to understand that the story of Lazarus, Jesus wept.
Hmm.
Like God is sad when you are sad, you know?
Hmm.
Um but yeah, just I've just been really we're doing the study on Romans. So I am, like the first part of Romans is like basically like everybody is
Mhm.
not good. Like,
I love
everybody's bad.
Romans.
Yeah, like, everybody's bad. You're all going to hell because
Yeah.
all of your works are terrible, right? But then it goes to the next chapter where it's like,
Mhm.
but because God loved you so much, he took his own son to take your punishment, your suffering, your what's the word that payment?
Condemnation.
Your
Oh.
payment? Yeah, condemnation, your propitiation. Propitiation. Your payment on the cross.
Mm.
Like Jesus just took it. That was before you were even born. 2000 years ago, we weren't here. Right? So like before you were even born. So there's nothing you can do. If he paid it before you were born, then there's nothing you can do to earn it, right?
Right.
Just accept it. And I just want to like throw that in there, like, for anybody that uh Matthew, why would you think that this is the end? Oh, we don't think that this is the end. Not yet. Well, that's not what scripture says. I mean, we're still here, we're talking. So
I think we're in the birth pains. It talks
yes,
about the birth pains in Matthew 24, and I think we're
yes,
living in the birth pains right now.
for sure. I believe that too. Absolutely. I believe
Yeah.
that too.
Well, just to piggyback off what you said for a minute, I love what you just said. And even though we weren't born yet, like when Jesus went to the cross, he had Sonya's name on his
Mhm.
heart. He took my sins knowing he was going there for me too. And that's given me great comfort to know that.
Yes, yes. He had Matthew's name. He had Dylan's name. He
Yeah.
had Dino's name. He had Boasty Powell's name. He had Kaylee Smith's name, Joel's name, Holly's name, Kimberly's name. He had everybody's name. Matthew Page, like all of our names were already on him, written on his hands. So
Mhm.
we just want to leave you with that.
Yes, that
we
is a
want
good
to leave
one.
you. We want to leave you with that. Get
Yeah,
real
something to think
personal.
about. Yeah. And you're right. Like for me, that was it. I remember sitting in jail and going to this meeting, and this lady asked me what God thought of me, and I thought that he was mad at me. And she said, "Well, what would God say to you?" And I heard clear as day in my head, Romans 8:28.
Mm,
All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose.
yes.
Everything changed after that.
And we see that. We see that with what you just said, right? Like, I lost my kids. Nobody would talk to me, right? Like, all these things happen. You're rock bottom, right? And then all of that worked together, and
Mhm.
look at it now, right? I mean,
Yes.
it's restoration. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Mhm.
Felicia said, over 4 months sober from fentanyl, doing so much better. I really
Mm.
saw the light. I had an awakening, and I'm so grateful.
Mm. God, I'm so glad to hear that.
Mhm. Let's see. Um, Dylan said, I cannot say that word. Rhabdomyolysis.
Sounds good.
Cut my liver and kidneys down 2 years ago. I ended up having to get multiple PICC lines and having to go through dialysis. God bless you. That's terrible. But I
Mhm.
decided to transition to Suboxone after leaving the hospital this time. And after 10 years of addiction, and I have been able to stay clean ever since with the help of a team of about 7 doctors that all work together to keep me and make sure my care is compassionate and complete.
I just got goosebumps. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. It took me knowing I had just a few weeks left by hospice rules. I asked for forgiveness, thinking of a 5-minute prayer. 2.5 hours later, I felt something, got really humble, and in a month, I wasn't terminal anymore. Now I am
Wow.
100% healthy. Take that from stage 5 liver failure, renal failure, and add some. That's very condensed.
Wow, that's
Wow.
amazing. Miracle.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you tell that story because that is
Yeah.
truly amazing.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. This says, I live by Matthew 15:14. I don't know what that script. Do you know
I'm
what that
looking it
verse
up.
is? Look it up.
I'm on it.
Yeah, I just did a reel today on you know, if God is for you, who can be against you? Because I think sometimes we get so caught up in looking at what's around us and looking at who's against us and looking at what's not working that we forget about, the angel armies that are fighting for us and all the things that God is doing behind the scenes.
Yeah. And that's really something important to keep in mind is like no matter what's going on in the world, God is sovereign and he is in control and everything is a part of his plan. And no matter what's going on around us, our job is to look up and watch him because
Mhm.
he's gonna take care of us.
Yes, yes, yes. Did
Okay,
you find it?
let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Well, that's
Mm,
true.
yeah. Absolutely. I mean, look at our government.
Okay.
I said it. I said it.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
Lord.
just glad I'm in Florida, okay?
Yeah. Girl, I know. I hope that your governor runs for president.
Me too.
So I really do. Um, Morgan, I have 2.5 years clean, but was pregnant most of it. But now I'm 4 months postpartum. I feel like it's the hardest my recovery has ever been.
Yeah, that's really tough. I mean, the thing is I hope that we're not the only ones that you're talking to about it because going through postpartum depression is not uncommon. And I think that doctors can really help you with the symptoms of postpartum depression and also having
Mhm.
that support network, having people to talk to about it. Just talking really helps so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Matthew, to answer this quickly, somebody called me out and told me this. Don't don't get tired. You're running a marathon.
Yes,
It's a lot, but keep
hmm,
running the race.
that's
Keep
right.
running the race. What can we do to change that on a massive scale? Just to keep encouraging people to keep running, you
We are
know?
the salt of the earth.
Mhm.
And a little salt can season the whole dish. So it just
That's
takes a
right.
couple of us to keep doing what we're doing. And, for the people that believe the end of days are coming, I think that gives them even more reason to believe in God. Like that was
Yeah.
prophesized. So
Yeah.
it's
I mean
happening. We're going to be okay.
yeah, like that is kinda like for me, I'm kinda like, "Why not? What you got to lose?" You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like, why not, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
and why wouldn't we wanna believe that, we have something wonderful, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. They told us in church that basically, when you go up for like the judgment, we don't get judged on our sins because they've already been wiped away. However, we do get judged. We get to go to the Lord about our service, and that's basically how we get dressed for the dinner,
Mm.
right? Is by our service. And I'm like, I want to have the best dress.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I want to have the best dress, the fanciest dress. So
We
that's what
will.
that's us, me and Sonya, we be serving maniacs.
Yes.
That's all we do. Yes, we'll be styling for sure. All right, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. And we will be here next week. If you have not done so yet, please subscribe to Sonya's YouTube channel, Hope Shot.
Hmm.
She is about to get this thing up and running. Even if I have, even if it's just me on her show,
Yes.
she's about to do it. She's gonna do
I'm gonna make a
it.
video tomorrow too.
Okay, so go subscribe to her YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not yet, and yeah, and we'll see you next week on Sonya's channel.
Mhm.
So yes, and I will be on. Me and Bosie Powell are collaborating, and I'm going to be on his show. Hopefully, he's going to be on mine if we have enough time. But I'm definitely going to be on his show on Monday. So check out his YouTube channel too. So
Awesome. I'll check it out.
awesome. All right, cool. Well, I will see you guys. We'll see you next week. All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye.